Welcome to Parenthood Bites, the podcast where we explore life as a parent in tech. I'm your host, Chiao, and I have over 15 years of experience in tech, and I'm also currently working as a career coach. I'm the proud mother of 3 incredible boys. In each episode, we have an inspiring guest who will share their remarkable story. You'll find their wisdom and insights both relatable and enriching, because after all, we're all in this parenting journey together. So grab your favorite drink, get cozy, and let's dive into today's episode.
Hi everyone, welcome to episode 55 of Parenthood Bites.
We're sorry we missed the episode last week, but we're back now.
This is Lucas, and I will be co-hosting this episode with my mom, where we're going to reflect on past discussions and topics and talk about some upcoming ideas we have. As of today, we've published 54 episodes and have received a total of over 2,000 plays on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Thank you so much to everyone for your support.
We've had a range of guests this year, talking with folks in various roles in the tech industry with kids of different age ranges. We've talked to parents whose kids are on the way, as well as parents whose kids are grown adults. It's been such a privilege hearing these diverse perspectives, and there's so much to take away from each of those stories.
One of the topics we talk about is parental leave and the importance of having a solid plan in place, both for work and for home. Before going on parental leave, when it comes to work, being proactive and planning things out, making sure that everyone is aware of their role can make a difference. A lot of folks suggest clearly outlining the status of ongoing projects, where your team stands, and who will be taking over key responsibilities while you're away. Having all that information organized and accessible ensures that there's less disruption and everyone's on the same page while you're out. It's about setting clear expectations and leaving behind as little uncertainty as possible.
And the same goes for at home. Whether you're a first-time parent or this is your second or third or fourth or fifth time around, knowing what roles and responsibilities everyone has while you're on leave can make a huge difference. Having that conversation with your partner and other family members before the baby arrives can really set the tone for a smoother transition into parenthood. It's easy to assume that things will just fall into place, but we've heard from a lot of parents that being clear on who's doing what, from diaper duty to nighttime feeds to household chores, can prevent a lot of stress and misunderstanding once the baby arrives. And really, I think it's up to you as a couple to figure out sort of what you need to do to prepare. For some parents, it's reading a lot of books, listening to podcasts, watching a lot of documentaries, watching things, visiting the hospitals. For some parents, like me and your dad, Lucas, we kind of just showed up and we were like, it can't be that bad. Thankfully, it wasn't that bad, but we probably should have toured the hospital or
Research.
I mean, we did some research, but maybe we could have done a little bit more. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because if somebody just goes and wants a baby and just immediately out of the blue, the baby might be a little bit cooked.
I think they'll figure it out. It's not like if you're not ready by the time the baby comes, you're screwed. You can still read books. You can still do research. You can still talk to people. You can still get support.
Yeah. You just be not cooked a bit later.
Sure.
The other topic is around the decision of whether to take all your leave at once or break it up into chunks. It's a topic that really varies depending on your work situation, family dynamics, and what feels right for you personally.
For those who take all the leave at once, we've heard that one of the main benefits is the consistency it provides. You don't have to go through multiple transitions, moving from work to leave, then back to work, then back to leave again. And it also helps set expectations with your team and your availability during that time period. On the other hand, some parents prefer to break up their leave, even though it can be tough to transition back and forth between work and time off. The advantage is that it can be nice to have another chunk of leave to look forward to. Some folks find it works out better with their partner's leave as well, giving them the chance to coordinate schedules. Others have shared that the second chunk of leave gives them the opportunity to spend more time with their kid once their kid is a little older and the family's rhythm has settled in. I didn't have the option to do that, but I think I would have liked to do that with at least one kid just to see what it's like. And one of the other topics that we talk about is postpartum support. Once the baby arrives, it's very easy to get overwhelmed with everything, whether it's setting up a new routine, getting hold of household chores, or adjusting to your new role as a parent. The reality is that the early days after giving birth can be incredibly challenging. Your body is going through a lot of changes, and so your family dynamics are shifting in another way.
During this time, it's so important to remember that it's okay to ask for help, whether it's hiring do, a doula. What is it called? What is it
Doula.
called? Oh, doula. Hiring a doula, bringing in a nanny, or leaning on family members and friends. Having that extra support can make all the difference. Heard from other parents who've taken advantage of those resources and felt that it helped them manage the overwhelming demands of new parenthood. The reality is, no one expects you to do it all alone, nor should you feel like you have to.
Do you know what a doula is, Lucas?
No, I'm 9 years old. I'm in third grade. I don't think I know some.
But this was explained in one of the podcast episodes, so I think you have some episodes to listen to.
Then
So, a doula is a nighttime nurse that essentially takes care of you and the newborn baby in the first month. Not you, because you're not the mother, but if you were the mother of a child, they would take care of you and the newborn, but not anyone else in the household. And they would help so that the mother can rest at night and things like that.
I feel like a doula. It's too complicated to say. Well, it's short, but it's spelled DOULA, and how'd you know how to say that? How'd you know how to say that?
What should it be called?
Bob.
Bob. So you
Yes,
hire a
Bob.
Bob. And is Bob a gender neutral term in this case?
Yeah, Bob. Bob.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, anyway, after parental leave, as you're going back to work, one of the most supportive environments for new parents is the mother's room. Having access to a dedicated, well equipped space for breastfeeding or pumping can make a world of difference. Don't be afraid to ask for the amenities you need to make that space functional and comfortable. Some of the basics that come to mind are a mini fridge, paper towels, wipes, a couch, soundproof rooms, or somewhere where the room isn't near other conference rooms so you don't have to worry about the pumping noise. And also a room that doesn't double as a meeting room, because there's nothing more embarrassing than when you're like, hey, I got a pump, and then someone's like, excuse me, I have a meeting in there. And it's like you shouldn't have to explain yourself in those situations. So having a very comfortable place that allows you to pump and store your milk is very important.
Yes. And another topic that comes up a lot is work-life balance. When tackling work-life balance, a lot of parents have told us that clear communication, prioritization, and setting boundaries is really key. Making sure that you have set your boundaries at home and at work as needed, and communicating with folks so they know how to support you. A lot of parents have told us that having kids really changes your mindset at home as well. Having a limited amount of time in either places forces people to have more ruthless prioritization.
And that makes a lot of sense to me. I think, in terms of the work life balance piece, definitely setting better boundaries. And a lot of people have said, letting their manager, letting their team know when they need to leave, or putting it on their calendar, making it really clear that this is my hard stop, but also not compromising that hard stop. So if Lucas, you're like, I got to go at 1 o'clock to pick up my kids, you go at 1 o'clock. And if someone's like, excuse me, I still need to meet, don't make an exception. You still go, right? Because if you make that exception, then people will think it's okay. Your boundaries are not real. You can still make that call or whatever it is they need you to do.
Well, actually, I don't really know because I'm 9 years old. I'm third grade, so I don't really know about that yet.
Yeah, so I'm just telling you, as you grow older, if there are things you need to do, it doesn't have to be pick up kids, right? It could be like you have a doctor's appointment or something. You set that boundary and you say, I need to go.
Okay.
Because there are some doctor's appointments where you can't make that appointment on a weekend. So when can you go? You can only go on a weekday. And so being comfortable setting those boundaries is really important. And also being like really communicative with your partner, with work, with your coworkers so that people know what to expect from you. And the piece around ruthless prioritization really resonates with me as well because as a parent you find that your time is pretty limited, your free time, your time at work, your time to do extra work, etc. So you really need to prioritize on what you can get done during that small window of time. The other ongoing topic that's been top of mind for a lot of parents is the use of electronics. So I think a lot of the concerns for parents these days are electronics, not just ruining your eyes, but also what you're exposed to online and also the short attention span, right? Watching those shorts. Like you probably watch a short 20 seconds and then you move on to the next one, 10 seconds, you move on to the next one, 20 seconds. Can you really sit there and pay attention to something for 1 hour? I think it's that much harder these days because of electronics. So I think there's a lot of discussion between parents around what age do we expose kids to electronics? How much time do we let them use electronics? And should we even be involved in what they're looking at, who they're talking to, what they say? Things like that. So I think that's an ongoing discussion between parents, but I think it's essentially what works for the parents and what they feel is best for their kids at that time. And again, as I've told you, Lucas, and your brothers, it's like you have your tablet and we trust you to use it during the times you're allowed to use it in. But if you use it when you're not allowed to use it, then that trust is gone. So I think the other thing that we hear about from a lot of parents, just a lot of tips, things they wish they knew before they had kids and stuff. We talked about these a little bit, but there are some other tips I thought would be worth just kind of pointing out.
Get TSA pre-check when traveling with young kids, as this will save you a lot of hassle. Bring extra clothing when traveling with young ones. You never know when someone has an accident. Ew.
Guess what that means, Lucas?
I know what that means. I've
What does that
I've
mean?
done it
What
once.
does that mean?
I've done it once. I've done it once.
What did you do?
I urinated my pants.
Where?
The bed? Right there?
Oh, yes, yes. But I'm saying, like, on the airplane and stuff, there have been times when we've carried you guys and then you've just pooped on the airplane and then the poop gets all over us and you, and we have to change all our clothes. So I always say bring extra clothes for the parents and the kids.
No, that's. I mean, we were like babies. We were like gigi gagi, so we like didn't know what to do, so we just pooped. We were just like poop, 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 poop.
Okay, what's the next one?
Travel as much as you can before kids, because once you have kids, though you can still travel, the experience is much, much, much different.
Wow, that's a lot of muches. Do you know how the experience is different? How is that?
Extremely different. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure
just a
it's
little bit.
different.
So some
I'm
of
pretty
these
sure
tips
when
are
you
around
guys
like
travel,
traveling and
I think
stuff. And
I'm
of
pretty
course, there's
sure you say
always
it's
the
different.
other tips around like one of the most common things we hear as well is that you will never feel ready, but you should just go for it. Yeah. So do you think you want to have
It's
kids?
the most challenging but
And the other
rewarding
tip that we hear from
experience.
parents a lot is like, and this is a learning for me too, is to start
Meh,
early when
I
you're
don't
looking
know.
for childcare. Start early and look at different places because a lot of places have wait lists. And those wait lists aren't just like a week, those are really long, month long, sometimes year long wait lists. So when you have a baby, start looking at different places, start planning out what you want to do. Of course, things are going to change, but it's definitely worth starting to add your name to some wait lists. Otherwise, the hardest thing is when you think your kid is at a daycare or preschool, and then the next day it's like, oh, it's closed. Now you got to go look for a new place, take time off work, do all of that. So, making sure you have those things in place will be really helpful.
So you're saying basically if I have like a kid named Lucas Jr., okay? Let's say that,
Yeah,
okay?
you put
And
your name
I
on the
should
wait
have
list, and then
multiple
depending
like
on when the kid is
daycares
that
that the
age,
kid
which
would
wait
go
list
to,
opens
you're saying.
up, then you take the kid there. So some of the other episodes we've had been more of update episodes, talking to parents who've recently had another child. And in those episodes, what we focus on is kind of talking to people about how their mindset has shifted since they had a kid. What did they prepare for having the kid? What are some things they wish they had prepared or they didn't prepare? And one of the things we hear from parents is that they feel like they're a different parent with the second kid. They feel like it's another mindset shift. And of course it is, because you have another kid, and you evolve as a parent. And I think that's really important for us as parents to know, is that at no point are we like the worst parent. It's just we are evolving as parents as our kids are evolving as well. This is just a short recap, so it definitely doesn't cover all the tips and all the topics that we talk about in the podcast. So, to catch all of that, definitely check out all the podcasts we've had to date. So, thinking to episodes ahead in the new year, we're obviously going to continue interviewing folks as we get people. Again, if people would like to be guests on the show, would like to be on an update show, or to be on a panel, please reach out to me. The other thing is, we want to have more panels. We had a panel around parental leave. I'd love to do a panel around kids using electronics, do a panel around moms in tech. So, there's a lot of panel discussions I want to have in the future as well. Please do email me if you have any panel ideas or if you want to be on a panel.
What's a panel?
A panel, that's a great question, is when we have a few people, a round table, come to discuss a topic. So, Lucas, if you have any ideas, any panel topics that we could talk about, feel free to let me know.
If you'd like to be a guest on the show, please reach out to my mom at chiao@parenthoodbites.co. That's chiao, CHIAO, at parenthoodbites.co.
Awesome. Thank you so much for hosting this episode with me today, Lucas. It has been a lot of fun chatting with you, and I hope you will join me in a future episode.
I mean, I probably will. Cause you reach 54, but in the future you probably get to 200.
Thank
So I
you.
probably will.
Okay, sounds good. I appreciate the confidence. All right, take care.
Bye.
Thank you so much for joining us today on Parenthood Bites. We hope you found our episode informative and entertaining. If you're a parent in the tech world or know someone who is, we'd love to hear from you. Please reach out to us at chiao@parenthoodbites.co, and we'll be thrilled to add your experiences to our interviews. That's chiao, CHIAO, @parenthoodbites.co. And to our potential sponsors out there, if you're a business or know of one that would like to support and partner with our podcast, please don't hesitate to get in touch. You can also reach us at chiao@parenthoodbites.co. Thank you once again for tuning in, and we wish you a fantastic rest of your week. Until next time, take care and stay curious.